Laurel, I understand you have a question maybe directed at me.
I do. So this is from Eric, and Eric says the UBCM 2019 convention voted to ask the federal and BC governments to shift infrastructure spending from higher to lower emitting types of transportation. And so the question is about whether we agree that funds should be shifted away from urban highway expansions to public transit and other low carbon transportation.
Yeah, it's a great question. Thank you for it. And you know, I think the answer is absolutely. Like, we know that, well, first of all, we know that we have to maintain our highway network and our roads and streets, right? We're highly dependent on them and will be into the future. But we need to free up investment for investing in active transportation infrastructure, investing in public transit, investing in rail transportation. All of these things are going to require investment, and that investment has to come from somewhere. So it can come from new dollars, but we also need to think about that conversation about investing in the stuff that we want more of, not the stuff that we want to move away from. And we all know that when we invest in widening highways, we create more greenhouse gas emissions, and that takes us in the opposite direction. So we need to create solutions for people around mobility. People need to get to work. They need to get from where they live to where they work and back. And in many ways, those patterns are locked in through our land use. But to the extent that we can build low carbon mobility options that allow people to have a high quality of life, we need to invest in those things. And absolutely, it means shifting our priorities from one thing to another. So that's a conversation I'm really excited to be part of in Ottawa, and holding the government to account when it comes to its budget and where the dollars actually go. Because it's one thing to talk about priorities. It's another thing to actually put the dollars where your priorities are. There's a famous saying in local government circles, I'm sure that the local government folks have heard it. It goes, don't tell me what your priorities are, show me your budget. Because really the budget is that tell-all document that really shows what you care about as a country, as a province, as a community, and where you're prepared to invest. So hopefully we'll see that. We've heard some good things around active transportation, which is something I know a lot of people care deeply about, and it's part of the solution around mobility. And we've also heard stuff about transit, and Lisa had some really wise words on that a few minutes ago. But we need to see, like we were talking before, we need to see the action start to measure up to the scale of the task that we face. And that's where there's such a big gap. We need to scale things up, and we need to increase the pace of change so that we can catch up with what we say we're promising our kids. Back to you, Laura.
And Taylor, I just want to kind of add on to that about the budget piece. I want to give a shout out to the incredible nonprofit organizations and advocacy groups who have, before COVID-19 hit, put their energy into a green budget document, really calling on the federal government this year to have their budget be one that is focused on addressing the climate crisis, focused on addressing the challenges that our environment is facing right now. But also this question about how we're going to fund it. I just want to give a shout out to all the people who have been pushing really hard for a wealth tax, because we do need to also kind of address the injustices and inequities in our taxation system. And